Hi guys, so the Green Party is looking for a new leader and a number of candidates have thrown their hat into the ring. Now, I had the great pleasure of interviewing Zack Polanski some weeks back, but two other candidates on a joint ticket are Ellie Chowns and Adrian Ramsay. Now, their approach to campaigning is somewhat different to Zack. Have a listen to this.
Populism might sound like just being popular, but it's more than that. It often puts one person on a pedestal and risks dividing us instead of bringing people together.
It turns complex challenges into simple slogans. It creates us versus them. That's not the kind of politics I believe in, and I know many people feel the same.
We've seen this with Boris Johnson and Nigel Farage, but we don't have to follow that path. There's another way.
That's why I joined the Green Party. I wanted to be part of something that listens more than it shouts, that brings people in, not shuts them out. We need to understand people's anger, but not feed it.
Our leadership is different. It's collaborative, grounded in shared values and focused on making a difference, not just on chasing headlines. Think of Jacinda Ardern or Caroline Lucas.
That kind of leadership builds trust. It brings people together around real change. And that's how we've won, even in places people said we couldn't.
When Greens lead with honesty and care, people respond. They see that Green values are their values too. Fairness, community, protecting what we love.
When we stood for Parliament, we won by listening and reaching out to people from all parties and those who'd never voted. And we built something powerful.
Because in the end, we all want similar things. Tackling inequality, restoring our NHS, a future for our children. That's what Green politics offers.
If you want leadership that unites and leads with purpose, compassion and integrity, we'd love your support.
Vote for Ellie and Adrian from the 1st of August, because together we win.
Okay, look, somewhat different to Zack Polanski. I think Zack Polanski's approach is a bit more in your face, a bit more aggressive, somewhat emulating Nigel Farage in a positive way, and I mean that I sincerely mean that in a positive way. He's interviewing people on the street. He's asking them about the cost of living crisis. He's talking about the NHS directly. He's talking to people about what they have as a what they see as a problem for them in society. He was talking in one of his clips about a man who was looking at the sea and saying that he wanted to take a gun and shoot at migrants crossing the English Channel. That was pretty heavy stuff. But that's what people are talking about today. This sort of clip that we saw here would have been probably okay in the mid-2000s or the early 2010s, but not today. Like, you can even juxtapose the position. When Zack was talking in his clip, he was actually on the beach. It was filmed on the beach, while this one is filmed in front of some trees. Looks very nice, quiet area. But politics is not like that today. You need to meet people where they are. And this is probably okay if you're in a traditional Green or Lib Dem constituency where people are middle class and well off. But I think what Zack is trying to do is he's meeting working class people, speaking to them, going to where they are. And I think that's a much better approach. I don't know whether he'll win. He's doing much better than they are in the polls. But, you know, polls mean nothing. The vote is everything. But I think the Green Party need to reach out beyond their base. This is pandering to the base, you know, where we all love each other and everyone's very nice and we don't want to rock the boat too much and we don't want to engage in populism and we don't want to emulate Nigel Farage or Boris Johnson. You know, we need to solidify our base. This will work to a certain extent, but if you want to reach out beyond that, you actually have to meet people outside your bubble. And I think this is why Zack is a breath of fresh air for the Green Party. Someone new, someone young as well, but somebody who understands better than maybe other people in the Green Party the ordinary problems ordinary people are going through, the problems ordinary people are going through. So I think Zack would be a better candidate, not because I interviewed him, not because I like the guy, but I think he understands things better than these individuals. But I could be wrong. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think, and I'll see you in the next video.